where's the redirection need to come? And so it's a pretty broad question, but I think it's a question that needs to be asked. And so reference is, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a new Hebrew year. There, people following the teaching. I know God's working in their lives, right? But I know how good the enemy is in a lot of different ways. It just getting into your mind, breaking pattern of habits and patterns, routines that you have that glorify God, right? And so if somebody's watching or they're listening to this podcast or listening to this episode and they know they need a redirection back towards the feast, Yom Kippur, 5786, they need a reset off that redirection. What should they do?
I think having the discipline to either join us online or be in the house on the exact day of Rosh Hashanah and being with us at Yom Kippur and being with us at Sukkot, if you're called to it. I think the sacrifice of obedience is better than sacrifice. If you're called to be online or you're called, but to be with us either online specifically on those dates and not archive it. Listen, I know people are going to be watching this on the archive. I get that. And if you have the ability, you're hearing this now, I can't tell you, Christy and I just had this conversation here recently of the importance of being in the right place and the right portal at the right time. I'm being invited to be part of the head of the year at Gloria Zion. And they specifically put me in on Saturday. That's the day. And the word that the Apostle Chuck has for the head of the year in his portal. Now, this is an apostolic international portal, probably one of the most effective and largest portals in the world, okay? And so the word the Lord gave him is stake your claim. Stake your claim. So when I hear stake your claim, I immediately think of, okay, I go to like during the gold rush, you would have to go and get the paperwork, file the claim, and they would have all the geographic information on there, and you'd file the claim. So when you go in to mine the gold, that it's yours and someone, can't legally try to take it from you. So that's kind of where my head went with this. So when I was asked to come and speak a word at Gloria Zion, I have had a word about basically, for me, kind of going into the courts almost like a Jewish attorney, going into the courts of heaven and laying claim to the benefits of one new man. According to Ephesians 2, Romans 11, the actual benefits, and the benefits are incredible. When we abide together, we create an altar of his presence, which means the Great Commission can operate. Ephesians 3:10, God's intent to make the manifold wisdom to overcome powers and principalities. Ephesians 3:20, the Holy Spirit comes and does exceedingly abundantly above all we could ask or think. Ephesians 6, 10 and 12, where we actually understand that we wrestle not against people, so we won't get offended by anybody, but flesh and blood, not flesh and blood, but powers, principalities, heavenly hosts, and dark places. All of those benefits. Romans 11, how much more the fullness when the Jews return. And be not ignorant of this mystery, lest you be boast and become wise in your own opinion. All of that revelation. I have been waiting for probably 15 years to preach that message in a place where I know it could be received, and now I get to do it. And that's why when Brian Kuiman, I texted Megan and said, would your dad come? And Megan said, can he come on Saturday? And it wasn't because of my calendar, but that was the day. And Brian said, yes. And I thought, okay, this is it. And I mean, this is the portal. This is the place. This is the people. All the other apostles that are coming to speak into it are all going to be basically setting it up. I look at it as like, they're all going to come if we're playing golf. One of them's going to come in on Thursday and drive, and the next one's going to chip up onto the green. And I really sense all I'm going to do on Saturday is come in and knock in a 2-inch putt, and we're going to have a birdie. I feel that strong about it. But you have to realize I have been waiting for years to release something like this. But you have to have the other leaders, the First Nation leaders, which will be there, and First Fruit Gentiles like Apostle Chuck and all the other leaders that will be there. Everyone senses and they know this is coming. But basically, I've been preparing for this message for years, and now it's time. And so when you ask a question like, what would you tell them to do? Be in the right place at the right time with the right people and the right heart, and have your heart prepared. That's what we've been doing with all our teaching on the calendar. Have your heart prepared so that when the glory comes, you can take it with you.